For years, everyone thought Kanye West was spiraling. But they missed the one moment that explains everything. A moment buried in headlines, ignored in interviews, and hidden behind every controversy he created.
I was drugged the out, bro.
They called him delusional, they called him dangerous, but he was building something he never said out loud. Because Kanye wasn't just making albums or sneakers, he was creating a version of himself the world wasn't ready for. And once you understand why he did it, you'll realize Kanye's story was never chaos. It was the most calculated transformation in modern culture. In the early 2000s, Kanye West was an outsider in every sense, a producer too ambitious for his lane, a rapper too different for radio. Hip-hop was ruled by gangster aesthetics, bravado, chains, violence, and Kanye showed up in a pink polo and a backpack. When every record label said no, he did what rebels do. He made his own path. The college dropout didn't just launch a career, it launched a philosophy. The idea that you could be authentic, introspective, and still redefine what success looked like. But even in those early days, Kanye wasn't playing for fame. He was playing for control.
And the list is so long, I don't know where to start. Like, do I start with my gym teacher back in high school, who I told her freshman year I was about to get a deal and take Crisscross out, and then she came to me senior year, like, what happened to your record deal? Or do I tell like all the label execs that didn't sign me, and they said, who's gonna believe a rapper that dresses like Carlton? Or do I?
And then they would say, we'll call you.
Yeah, I got hit with those words a few times. Do I say it to the magazines where I begged for covers, or said that I felt like the album should get a higher rating, and people say, well, what's wrong with him? You know, I just felt if you put your heart into something and you had a grasp on what was really good and you knew you delivered a good product, you have the right to defend your product after people would criticize it.
Control over sound, over style, over story. While the industry sold images, he sold identity. He was the first artist to turn his entire life into a living canvas. From the start, his career was a collision between expression and expectation. Every time he broke a rule, the world reacted.
Being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
And he learned something vital. Outrage is currency. Attention is power. By 2010, Kanye was no longer just a musician. He was a brand architect, a storyteller who used sound and spectacle to bend culture to his will. His album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, wasn't just music. It was a manifesto. Recorded in self-exile after public backlash, it declared that the villain could be the visionary. Kanye learned that every failure could be reframed as a renaissance. That truth, that collapse could become creation, would define everything that followed. And so, when the world expected redemption, Kanye gave them revolt. Yeezus was industrial, minimalist, angry. It wasn't a soundtrack, it was a statement. He was no longer trying to be understood. He was trying to be unignored. The system had rules. Stay safe, stay profitable, stay predictable. Kanye broke all three, and somehow each time he did, the system expanded around him. Behind the noise was a blueprint. Redefine yourself before the world defines you. That blueprint would become his greatest weapon, but reinvention comes with a cost. The more control he took, the less the world understood him. And soon, Kanye would discover how to turn that misunderstanding into a strategy.
And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency. Here's a two-term president who ran the country during Katrina, 9/11, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the financial meltdown, and he's pointing the finger at Kanye West and that incident as the worst moment in his presidency.
By the mid-2010s, Kanye West was no longer just making headlines, he was orchestrating them. To the outside world, it looked like chaos. To Kanye, it was choreography. Every public breakdown, every impulsive comment, every viral moment fueled the same machine that tried to contain him. He wasn't reacting to fame. He was manipulating it. When Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift, it wasn't just arrogance, it was the birth of a new era. That night, he became both hero and villain. He realized something most artists never do. Control isn't about approval. Control is about attention. Every backlash became a broadcast. Every cancellation became conversation. And Kanye, deliberately or instinctively, learned how to weaponize both. The more the world tried to silence him, the louder he became.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. I've been doing this more than you.
And with every controversy, his empire expanded. Music, fashion, design, each move unpredictable, yet unmistakably his. By 2015, Kanye wasn't chasing relevance. He was relevance. He had turned spectacle into structure, controversy into currency. While the media dissected his words, he was building an empire beneath the noise. Yeezy.
Tell me a little bit about the creative process where you design one of these.
You start with a sketch, start with a vintage reference. It could start with a previous shoe that we created that we're making a newer version on. You know, feelings of films and experiences that I grew up with.
A fashion line that turned minimalism into luxury and cemented Kanye not as a rapper, but as a mogul. Every business executive understands the value of attention. Kanye understood it better than anyone. He made the unpredictable predictable, and in doing so, he built a brand that defied logic. Yeezy became one of the most profitable partnerships in modern fashion. His net worth skyrocketed. He had proven the impossible. You could alienate the world and still dominate it. But behind the triumph was something deeper, a new kind of fatigue. The rebellion had worked, yet the war never stopped. To stay free, Kanye had to keep breaking something, a rule, a relationship, an image. Chaos had built his empire, but it also became his cage. In 2016, the cracks began to show. Exhaustion, paranoia, pressure, the cost of being larger than life. His tour collapsed. His public appearances grew erratic. He was no longer controlling the story. The story was controlling him. For the first time in his career, Kanye went silent. And that silence changed everything. When Kanye returned, he was different. The rage had quieted, replaced by something unexpected: faith, reflection, and solitude. He began building again. This time, not for fame or fashion, but for redemption. The Sunday service movement blurred the line between concert and church, between performance and prayer. Critics called it ego dressed as faith, but for Kanye, it was something else. A new form of art, where spirituality became sound. For years, Kanye fought for freedom, creative, financial, personal, but true freedom carries a price. It means there's no one left to say no. And when no one says no, you're no longer just an artist. You're a world of your own gravity. He wanted to build a city, a school, a culture. He wanted to shape the world as if it were clay in his hands. But even visionaries are human. The same fire that fuels creation can also burn everything around it. As the world turned against him, the machine he had mastered began to consume him. The headlines he once used as leverage now became judgment. Brands cut ties. Platforms silenced him, and the empire he built through rebellion started to unravel. But maybe that was always part of the design, because every version of Kanye ends with destruction, so something new can be born. When you study his story closely, the truth becomes clear. Kanye West's genius was never just in music or design or even fame. It was in transformation. He made evolution itself his art form. Every era, from college dropout to Donda, was a deliberate shedding of skin. He wasn't just changing sound, he was rewriting identity. The world mistook reinvention for instability, but to Kanye, it was survival. The truth no one saw coming about Kanye West isn't about fame or failure. It's that he turned chaos into creativity, rebellion into design, that his greatest art form wasn't a song or an album or a brand. It was himself. And maybe in a world that demands predictability, the ultimate act of genius is to never let anyone truly understand you.